I need some tunes. Oh, we're live. Let's go, y'all. What's up, everybody? Trent Denson here with the Spread the Positive podcast here at TTM Studios. Big shout out to my guy, Tom Golly. As always, we have a super special show, a returning guest.
I made it back.
I know, and it's always a privilege and a pleasure to have my guy, Jeremy Lee, here. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great today.
I love it, man. So we're going to get into a new project, a passion project of yours, something that is near and dear to your heart. You brought this up to me a few months ago, and I was like, that's some powerful stuff. So I'm excited to get into all of it. But let's give the people just a quick overview of who you are, what you're doing. I just always we got to have a little groundwork has to be laid. So
absolutely,
tell the people about all things Jeremy Lee.
Well, I mean, to know me is to understand that I'm first a husband and a dad. I love my family.
Yep.
I've got 2 boys in high school now, a beautiful wife that I've been married to for 25 years this year.
In a row?
Yeah, so my family's big to me. In a row, that's right.
It's a Don day.
We didn't date every year in a row. We dated 4 years off and on, right?
Right.
We made it 25 years of marriage.
That's amazing.
It is amazing because year 7, holy smokes, you know.
It's that itch, right? They call it an itch.
So it was, no, we've had a beautiful journey together. And what we're going to talk about today is born a lot out of my love and dedication to them. But also, for 20 years, I was a minister and then traveled and spoke at different retreats and camps and worked with families and parents. I co-wrote a book called Pass It On. Published by David C. Cook back a few years ago. So I've done a little bit of everything. But now I am, about a few years ago, I built a membership site called ministrytoparents.com. And since I've sold that, but have moved on now to, I fell in love with digital marketing and all of that.
I would call you a digital marketing guru. That's in the description. So.
Oh, heck. Well, then let's go with that.
You can add that to your resume if you need to.
And found some beautiful partners, some men that I love and respect, and we formed Boro Business Lab a few years ago.
I know
in
those
our
guys.
town, we do digital marketing for about 227 companies.
Wow. Up to 227. Jeez,
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So
Still one of my favorite stories, how that whole thing came together. Well, go back and listen to there's several episodes out there on the story of BBL, but
we're not strangers to the STP world.
To the network you've been sprinkled quite often throughout there, but it's amazing how y'all came together, and I mean, just a true testament as always to collaboration over competition, right?
Amen, man. That's it.
I mean, I'm sure y'all would have had very successful. I mean, y'all already did. I mean, y'all were all three killing it, and then to join forces, and now you have 227 clients.
Man, it's been
insane, dude.
One of the coolest journeys I've ever been on, and truly, what we're going to talk about today, they're a part of it.
Yeah.
It's, although we do serve other businesses, we also create our own digital businesses,
right.
And we want to create businesses that help people. And so, what we're going to be talking about today is they're partners in that. It's not just me.
Well. Without further ado,
I
mean, let's get into it. So the service is called Last Word Letters, for those that can see that over there. Take it away, man. Tell us all about it.
So, Trent, I want you to imagine your loved ones. So let's just have fun. Who would that be? Who would that be? Who's some of the closest loved ones to you?
My parents for sure. My better half, Kristen, and Cammy Ruski. Just kidding, that's my puppy. But
hey,
honestly,
let's add
they're way up there.
Cammy.
I got a lot of really close friends. Very blessed. I got a big circle that I deeply care about for sure.
All right, so let's take that group, that beautiful group of beautiful souls, and let's imagine that you are at home, and you've had a long work day. You're watching TV in the recliner, and you fall asleep. Is that actual reality?
Oh, that happens quite often.
Okay. So you're in that recliner, right?
Yep.
And then all those loved ones we just talked about, they're upstairs. They're asleep.
Okay.
Okay? In this scenario.
Okay.
And you are startled awake in the middle of the night and you smell smoke. Okay? You look to the left and you see at the staircase is engulfed in flames.
Oh, no.
I know you feeling it right now.
Yeah,
You
I
feeling
actually
it?
got goose. That was kind of weird. I'm
Yeah.
there. I don't like it.
Yeah, I love painting this scenario
Yeah.
to get people in the moment of what we're gonna be talking about, because like when I'm doing with this, when I'm speaking to groups and there's moms and dads in the audience, like the dads are like they're
Yeah,
raising up, they're
100%,
ready.
yeah.
The moms are like leaning forward, they're like already on go, they're like ready to just like
run up the stairs,
they're
run
like
through
just
the fire.
say the word, just say the
Yeah.
word, and but that's the question. What do you do? What do you do in that moment?
Man, just pray. Honestly,
Do you run out in the front yard and hope for the best, or do you run up the stairs?
Probably try to go help. Yeah, I'm a help. I
hope so,
yeah,
Trent.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
No,
Yeah,
there's something built inside of us when we really love someone
I will.
that we'll do whatever it takes, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the energy that I want to bring to as we talk about this.
That's powerful.
We need that energy because don't nobody want to talk about when they die. We all avoid this subject.
We really do.
We're scared to death of it. So why in the world do we want to talk about it, much less prepare for it or think about what it would be? So we need that energy of our loved ones and being willing to do anything for them. Because Trent, if you walk down these stairs that are not on fire and you go out in the street today and you run into a concrete truck and you die, tell me, what are your loved ones going to be feeling and going through?
Man. Loss, grief,
Yeah.
sadness, all the stuff.
That's right. And it gets even more complicated when there's kids and there's spouses and there's all of these factors involved. But your loved ones are going to have to plan your funeral. Do they even know what to expect? Do they know? I'm sure there's some, STP, there's got to be an estate of millions of dollars to hand to them, and it's got to be figured out who gets what.
Time just hadn't caught up yet, but yeah.
But I'm speaking it into existence.
That's exactly
my friend.
right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
I mean, let's
Hey, that's
name
real,
it and
though.
claim it.
Yes, name it and claim it. Absolutely.
So anyway,
You're right, though.
But in all those arrangements, there's another step, because what we naturally do to prepare for our deaths is we do a will. We write a will. This is who gets my stuff. And I remember the first time I did that. My wife and I, we were going to go on a trip. Our boys were super young. We were like, oh crap, if the plane goes down, like we should probably have a plan.
Yeah.
So we go into the lawyer, and she's a sweet lady, but she's like, hey, so if you die, Jeremy, who gets this stuff? And I'm like, well, she does. Okay. So if both of you die, who gets your stuff? Well, leave them to my kids. And they're like, okay. Well, if you and your kids, I'm like, everybody's dying in this scenario. I hate this. But we had to go through all of these logistics and hoops. And there's really, it's a very business-like process to prepare for our deaths. That's the way we as humans have done it. And I just believe that we can humanize estate planning. I believe there's a way to not just give our stuff, but to share our hearts.
Wow. Man, that's such a beautiful way to put that. Wow.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll get into kind of my story and how this came out, but really what I want people to see when we talk about last word letters is you don't know for sure. If you're let's say you're a dad or a mom and you have young kids, you don't know for sure that you're going to be there. And I'm sorry to be cryptic and
it's real. It's necessary.
gloomy and all that. But to think about it, I don't know that I'll physically be there. But if I do some of the things we teach in Last Word Letters, I can ensure that my voice will be spoken into that moment.
Man,
I can guarantee that.
wow, that's powerful.
It is powerful, man, and that's kind of the tool we wanted to create. It's a good idea to write last word letters, but when you sit down with a blank piece of paper, it's overwhelming and crazy.
Yeah.
So I know that because when I went to go do it myself, it was nuts.
Man, I can't imagine. That's crazy. I just thought of something. Brittany Turner, she's a beast with Aerial Recovery Group and a lot of other stuff that she does. And one of the things she always preaches is writing your own eulogy. and just the perspective you get from doing that, and just, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right? And
Absolutely.
just like, what do you want to be remembered for? What are, what are you leaving behind? All of that type of stuff. So, man, I've never done it. I've honestly been scared to do it. I've honestly been scared, and I've thought about it a lot, and I've heard her. Talk about it a lot on different shows and podcasts and speaking events she does. Like, she's an absolute beast. But she I think she reads it like every morning, like as a reminder to like really live this out every day. So let's go ahead and get into that. Obviously this is from your heart. So, and you just said that you've done a version of this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why and kind of how that all came together.
Well, and I love what you just said, though. You said Brittany
Turner.
Need to check that out.
Yeah. She's in Nashville. She's doing big things.
Because that's it. What you just said, I'm scared, I avoid it. That is typical, normal. Everyone feels that way, I would imagine, at some level. But this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get this out here, because I was forced into this, but as I went through this process, it was one of the most freeing, liberating, beautiful, passionate things I've ever been through.
Man.
And the thing I was afraid of was actually, and this is what I think Brittany is getting across, because when you deal and look face on to your death and what your loved ones would, what their lives are going to be like, and you prepare fully for your death, it's like the whole Braveheart quote, you're free to live. So, and what Brittany's trying to get at is, here's your purpose, right? And what this is about is, hey, here's my heart for you as my loved ones. Because we don't do well sometimes with the people we're closest to. We don't share our hearts very well with them. We need help to do that, right?
That's hard, dude.
But yeah, so for me, my story and the reason where Last Word Letters came from, it started with a vasectomy.
Okay.
I always love starting there.
Yeah, because then it gets a little.
Do you discuss vasectomies a lot on your
Not very often.
podcast?
What's going right? I don't know.
No, seriously. I went for a vasectomy, and the doctor at the end of it was like, "Listen, go home, but if for whatever reason tonight you're in extreme pain, you need to go to the ER." Well, see, I went home, and in the middle of the night I woke up and I was in extreme pain. And I had that conversation with myself. I was like, okay, so do I go to the hospital? I was like doing the numbers. I was like, have I paid my insurance deductible?
Right.
I think I'm clear, actually, so I don't think this is going to cost me much. So yeah, let's go. So I went to the hospital. I was in bad pain. And they put me in, and they said, well, we need to scan to check and see what's going on. So they scanned me. And then I'm just laying there by myself because it's the middle of the night. I told my wife I'm good. I was being a man.
Yeah, macho.
I was like, it's like, I'm good. And then they came back, and the doctor said, okay, we just saw your scans, and you're presenting to us like you have stage 4 lymphoma.
Wow.
And I remember I'm not always the sharpest tool in the shed, and I remember thinking to myself, lymphoma. What is that? I was like, holy crap, that's cancer.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I said, wait a second, are you saying I have cancer? And the doctor goes, well, we have to confirm it, but it's presenting to us that way. Man. And listen, that look on your face, I've seen that look a million times, and I get it because I've given it to others. Mm-hmm. But immediately in that moment, people say that when you're threatened with you're about to die, that you see your life flash before your eyes. Well, for me, I wouldn't say it was my life flash before my eyes. It was all the moments I was about to miss.
Man. Wow.
Because you see, my boys were, I think, 10 years old and 8 years old. My sweet little boys. My wife, I wasn't joking when I said we had some really hard times early in our marriage, but we worked through that junk.
Yeah.
We did the hard work. And now we were on the other side and we're enjoying it, and I've got all this beautiful family in front of me, and I was about to miss. That's all I could think about. So we go through the process. We begin treatment, and anybody who ever has gone through a cancer journey, there's ups and downs. There's moments where it's going to be all right, and then there's moments where you're about to die, and mentally, it's a mental gymnastics that's just is horrible. But there was a season where it looked to me, it looked gloomy. I was like, okay, this is it. It's coming. And I was losing it. So I went to my mentor, counselor, and I just said, hey, I need you to help me. And he said, help you with what? And I said, I need you to help me prepare to die. Some of the one of the darkest things I've ever said. He looked at me like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, listen, I just have a feeling. My prognosis doesn't seem very good right now, and I just have this feeling, and for whatever reason, it's crippling me, and I can't take another step on this journey until I'm at least deal with it. He said, you're serious, right? I said, yeah. And he said, all right, let's go. And so we went through this journey together. The first part was a spiritual discussion, just like what do I believe about life after death, and walking through that. The next part was a logistics discussion, which was very helpful. Down to who do you want to be your pallbearers? What songs do you sing at your funeral? What are the passwords that your wife needs to know? What are all the things that you could provide now ahead of time? Life insurance. I hadn't called I didn't know what would happen if I died with my life insurance guy. So I called him. I was like, yo, if I kick the bucket tomorrow, what happens? Like literally what happens? He was like, I'll be at your house with a check. I was like, are you gonna pull taxes out of it? I had to ask all these questions. Dang, and then I made what was called a peace of mind file where I wrote down all the passwords, wrote down go here, do this, go here, do this, go here, do this. Here's what I want at my funeral. Everything I could to give my wife, who would be probably the main one making the arrangements, make it as easy as possible for her. All right. So the last step, he said, was because the first two, pretty simple, took a few sessions. Man, it was really great actually to go through the process I felt great.
Man, I bet that was pretty free. Yeah.
This is what I believe will happen to me after I die. This is what I've now prepared it to where it'll be easy and peaceful as possible for my wife to handle the logistics. So the last part was he said you could either make videos or write letters to your loved ones that they could have after you die. And so that part was the part of the process that was difficult because I had so much to say.
Man, dude.
I had so much to say, but I had no idea how to say it.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can't imagine.
So it actually didn't come right away. It took a really long time. During that time, I thank goodness, very grateful, went into remission. And I've been in remission now for 6.5, almost 7 years.
Thank God.
Yeah, man. I'm very grateful.
Mm-hmm.
But it never left me, that process, how hard it was, but how, and I, listen, I'm telling you, Trent, this is why this is a passion project. I got to control the emotions for a second.
Feel your feels though. Go
feel my feels.
Go feel those feels.
Because there was just, especially as a man, as a dad, as a husband, there was just something so peaceful in my heart knowing that, no, I don't want to die, but if I did, I honored my family would be taken care of. And someone said to me, even at 10 and 8 years old, they said, Jeremy, you've really focused on being a good dad, so your boys have more from you than most boys get from their dads. They're going to be good men, no matter what happens from here on out.
Man, what a compliment.
And I believed it.
Yeah.
And just knowing that everything's going to be okay, that there will be sadness. It would not be easy. But knowing that everything's going to be okay. And when it wasn't okay, if they chose to, they could read my words of comfort. That's all I could do.
Right.
That's all I could do. So to know that I did all I could do was life-giving to me. I don't know how to say it.
Right.
That's why I want to help people see. They want to avoid this subject. I beg them to run into the subject.
Right.
Like what's the I think there's the illustration with the buffalo and the cow.
Be the
You've heard
buffalo,
that?
yeah.
Be the buffalo.
Yep.
Where the
Just
cows
run
keep
into the
running
storm.
away from the storm, and therefore they keep experiencing it.
Yep.
The buffalo run through the storm,
Yep.
and on the other side they get the joy of it. And this is exactly
Yep.
where we are with this. If you'll run into it, there's a gift on the other side of this that I don't even know how to explain.
Man, that's crazy.
The problem is, and the reason why my partners and I have created this tool, digital tool, is called Last Word Letters, is because when you go to do it, it's hard to know what the heck to do.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. The blank page feels like 1,000,000 pounds, and you can't lift it. You don't know where to start. Now, there are some who have the gift of gab, and they'll just write on forever. But even those people who have 1,000,000 words to say, if they're not focused, they're not getting the message across that they want.
Yeah.
And there's also a bent that we've chosen to offer that I'll explain here in a second that gives people, well, we have some rules kind of inside the tool where we're like, listen, there will be a time for people to give you a eulogy, but this is a tool for your loved ones, not for you. So we're going to be talking about their life, not yours.
Wow.
So we're going to be, in this tool, we want you to get it done. Don't get it perfect.
Wow.
When in this tool, there's a bunch of different things in there, but we actually have written we have 5 different letter templates that they can use. And each one has a real purpose. Like the first one is, what's true about you. Here's what's true about you, Trent. Because here's the reality. We believe our identity many times comes from what the people we love and trust the most think about us. For good or bad. That's like a superpower that can be used for good or evil, right?
Absolutely.
But the people that we allow that much access to our heart, our identity is formed from what they say is true about us.
Man.
So one of the first letters is, let's say you are one of my loved ones, Trent. But so let's say I wrote last word letters to you. My letter would look like, hey, Trent, when I look at you, this is what I know to be true about you. I know that you are a passionate man who brings good to his community.
Made me cry, man.
Who does not seek for his own, but seeks for others.
Hey,
That is who you are.
man. That
You understand
hits,
that?
bro. That hits hard.
The letter is like a Mad Lib, though. It's as simple as filling in blanks. We've filled in most of it, and you fill in your pieces of it.
Man.
It's so simple to write, but it's simple because of the tool, right? So the first one is what's true about you. The next one is on your worst day. So on those days where you get fired or where you get a diagnosis or where you lose a relationship or where everything falls apart, I have something I want you to open this letter and read it. Then it's on your best day. On the day that we're celebrating, where we're pulling out the cameras, bring out the cake, have everybody over, and you wish that I was at the party with you, open this letter.
Jeez.
Because I'm here to party, and here are my words.
Yep. Man.
Right? So we have what's true about you on your worst day, on your best day, and then the next one is when you've made a huge mistake.
Wow. Man.
Okay? So that moment where you are full of shame and you have blown it big time, because we all know everyone will, and all you want to do is pick up the phone and call me. You can't, but you can read this letter. Because I have words for you on that moment. The final one is you're easy to love. Which is whether it's a spouse or a parental thing or just a friend, whatever, is you are easy to love. You are worth loving. And do not let your loyalty to me stop you from enjoying love.
Man.
You can stay loyal to me, and there can still be room for someone else to come in and love you because you are so easy to love.
Wow.
So in every one of those are the 5 letters. And in every one of those, we have a guided process. There's a video that you watch, a little 5-minute video to set it up. Then there, you come in and you put some initial thoughts down on paper, and then you get your template out and you take those thoughts and you put them in the template. Then you're done. Wow. Then we encourage you to look at all those worksheets and then just write it in your own handwriting on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and stick it with your will.
Wow.
With their name on it. You could do 1 letter. We'd love for you to do all 5 letters for each one of the loved ones that you want to leave them for.
Wow.
So now imagine this, Trent, concrete truck. You're
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. All those loved ones you mentioned at the beginning of our interview, they're sitting at a table, probably looks like this. And there's some lawyer who's going to be going, here's the millions of dollars. Y'all each get this and get this, get this, get this. Blah, 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 blah. And then, okay, Mom, here's your bundle of letters. Dad, here's your bundle of letters. Here's your bundle of letters. You'll see on there, each one has on your best day, on your worst day. So read those when it's appropriate. Trent wrote those for you.
It's powerful. God, that's all I can keep saying.
This is what I want to talk about when I think about the value of what Last Word Letters is about. Like we often talk about first impressions and how powerful they are, right? And with our kids, we don't even make a first impression. To them, it seems like we've been around forever.
Right.
But to our spouse, we make a first impression. To other loved ones, you said your better half, your girlfriend, you made a first impression at some point. I want to say this. We remember most often our human brains, our first impressions and our last impressions, and the middle just kind of mushes together.
Yeah.
Last Word Letters is about the last impression. And I can't think of a better last impression than to, again, kind of like you, not for myself.
Like, we're not.
This
we're
is
not
about
here.
you.
Yeah. Man.
Hey, my youngest son's named Hudson. Hey, Hudson. I don't know that I'm going to be at your wedding day, but on that day, I want you to hear this.
Man.
My older son, Campbell. Hey, Campbell, I may not be there on the day you lose your job and you got a family dependent on you and you don't know what you're going to do. But on that day, I want you to hear this. And they'll have that as a tool that they can use. My wife, on the day that she is blown it trying to take care of our boys and I'm not there and she feels so much shame, she can read this. One of the things I want you to see, and this is strategic, I want people to know this about Last Word Letters, is that there are some core emotions we feel as humans. And each one of these letters is based on the emotions our loved ones will feel. So identity, but on your worst day, that's sadness. On your best day, that's joy. When you've made a huge mistake,
shame.
And you're easy to love. You're easy to love. And what's true about you are they meet 2 other core needs that are pretty obvious: identity and freedom relationally to move on.
Wow.
But as you look at some of the things that we know our loved ones will go through, we don't have to wonder. We now have an encouragement for them from a voice that they hold dear that says to them, you can do this.
That's so amazing.
So that's the reason, that's the passion behind the project. That's a long answer to your question, my friend, but that's the passion behind the project.
Man, that is so good. And I knew it was gonna be awesome. I didn't know it would be that thorough and that awesome.
Listen,
man, that covers the basis in a just beautiful way. I mean, I can't think of anything to add or take away. It's just literally perfect. So
I'm honored. It means this is my first time to get to share this on a podcast.
Hey, love
and
that.
I called you
Yeah.
first call because we hope that the message of this project goes all across the nation and the world, actually.
Yeah.
But we wanted to start in our home.
Yeah.
And we're from Murfreesboro. We wanted to start here. And I just can't thank you enough for giving me this chance. In fact, can I say one other thing?
Yeah, man, please.
We have arranged surprise. We put together this. There's a charge to this. Nobody's trying to get rich, but there is a charge to this. But we want to offer your audience that is listening a 20% discount.
Let's go.
We looked at it and we said, okay, it costs this much to write a will. Let's do a fraction of that.
Right.
And that's what we'll charge for Last Word Letters. It's $99 one time.
Yep.
And you can use the templates to write as many letters as you want. And but we're going to give a 20% discount to your audience.
Wow, thank you.
When they go to purchase, they put in the coupon code STP. Spread the positive.
That's
STP. Right. If they do that, they'll get 20% off.
Nice. That's so awesome, man. Thank
you
you for that.
lastwordletters.com.
Lastwordletters.com. Use that code, people.
Help out my man Trent.
Support the mission, but man, most importantly, do the work. I mean, do the work, right? Like you said, it's probably just on a therapeutic level. I can't imagine. And I did want to ask, I don't want to get too off topic real quick. Please go support the mission. Most importantly, Last Word Letters. Use the code. That would be amazing. But I was just thinking as you were talking, do you think that relief was what led to your recovery? Like having that done? As you were talking, I was like, the reason why the prognosis wasn't looking good, the reason why you were, I hate to say it, maybe kind of giving up to a certain degree.
I was.
Do you think that relief is what brought your recovery?
Man, what a great question. I believe mind and body are connected.
Yeah.
I believe one speaks to and influences the other. Mm-hmm. So I guess if I have that belief, then I have to believe that it had some impact.
Yeah, it had to.
And like I said, if I have a message for anybody, because I know the typical person, they're like, I don't want to hear this. I don't even want to think about it. But there's a gift. There's such a gift inside of it. There's such a gift. Like, if we're ready to die, we're free to live. If we're ready to die, we're free to live.
Whoa.
And that's just, we can walk around with confidence. We can take risks. We could try things and know, because what do we always say when we try something big? Oh, as long as it doesn't kill me. Now I can say, even if it does kill me.
Right.
Not that I'm looking for it.
Not hoping for that. Not putting that out there, but just the fact that it is covered,
and listen, if you go through that full process, I feel confident of what's going to happen to me. I feel confident that the logistics are covered for my family, and I have a word of encouragement to offer them when they need to, as they grieve and grow.
Man, that's so powerful. That's all. I've said that like 11 times in this one episode, but that's so powerful.
How many is 11?
It's a
lot.
It's a lot. It's a big number. We could probably go back and count them. But man, that's so cool. And you're right. Just the CYA of it all, right? In the weirdest way possible. Just having that covered, just knowing that you can, and yeah, I think that's so beautiful. And you mentioned like, obviously the letters, like handwritten, that's powerful. Does it come? Is there any other offerings as far as voice stuff, video stuff, anything along those lines, or baby steps? But
yeah. Well, I do believe there will be people who want to do video that fits their personality more. Mm-hmm. And what we say to them is use the letters as your script.
Okay.
And the one thing we didn't want to do is because we thought through this, we were like, people could store videos and stuff. Then I was like, then I'll be in charge of keeping that data. And what if I just couldn't?
That's a good call.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that. Yeah,
I'm not thrilled about that option. And then you'll see in here, there's nothing fancy. It's you look at a PDF, and we thought about doing software where you answer these questions, it spits out a letter.
Yeah.
And we had this tension here between we want to make the process simpler, but we don't want to lose the meaning.
Mm.
So, and I don't know that we have perfected. What's great about having a digital tool is as people use it and give us feedback, we're going to be able to make it better and better and better.
That's cool. I was just curious.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Man, that's so cool. And that was great answer. Man, I'm excited for you. I think this is an absolute game changer. I've never heard of anything like it. Is there anything really out there that does this that y'all have found? Or
in regards to, we just recently found what looks like a really cool, this was after we had it all developed, but it looks like there was a program where they just encourage dads to write letters to their kids in a similar format, but it wasn't around estate planning or death or to be left with your will. But yeah, that's the only other thing I've seen. I've only seen one other thing.
Man, and talk about some white space.
Yeah, and I get it because like we talked to an estate attorney. We were like, hey, would you like to offer this to your clients? And he was like, well, if my clients want to write a letter to their loved ones, I just tell them write a letter.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, have a nice day. Because I was like, we're not gonna, we're not connected here. We don't. But as you can see, there's more to it.
Right.
Than just writing a letter.
Right. Just racking my brain a little. I mean, this is a game changer, man. And I appreciate just having a code. I mean, I'm gonna push this hard. Like I really believe in it, and I want to do it. First of all, I want to actually go through the whole process and
all of Trent's loved ones. You just heard that he's gonna write you letters. Hold him to
luck.
it.
When I kick the bucket, y'all get to read some stuff. But
that would mean a lot actually if you do it and give me feedback because we want to make it better.
Absolutely, that's easy. And I think, like you said, it's just the freeing aspect sounds really. Maybe something that would really take it up a notch and just kick another gear in, because you're right. I mean, this stuff, who knows? You never know, right? When life is precious, life is really fragile, and life gets really weird really quick. So just being able to, again, have some of that CYA and just being able to know for a fact that the people you care about the most will know exactly what you or what they meant to you, right? I mean, it's the opposite way, and I think that's man, that's such a cool concept, man, and it's clearly from the most wholesome, beautiful place in your heart, which is another reason why it should be a smashing success too. But man, like that gets me, man. That really gets me in my feels, and once like the challenge there, like kind of fires me up, to be honest. Like I think once people like actually get that and get past the fear and get past the hard conversation. Trust me, I hate hard conversations. I'm the worst at them a lot of times, and I steer right around them a lot. But man, this is kind of like one of those things you gotta do the work. It's always a matter of doing the work, and like even when it sucks, like it sucks, but it's gonna have something beautiful come from it. So it's just like, man, I'm here for it.
My mentor, when we finished everything.
Shouts to your mentor, by the way, too. She sounds like
yes, amazing.
Yeah.
What a sacred thing to walk with me through that journey. Like
beautiful.
Not everybody would want to do that.
No.
The fact that he did, but when we were done, he said, "Jeremy, you do know that every man should do what you just did. The only difference between you and every person is that you have more of an idea of when this is going to happen."
Wow.
But he said, this is going to happen to everybody, and the freedom that you feel is a freedom everyone should feel.
Wow.
And I do think it was at that moment where the kind of the idea for Last Word Letter started to be born inside of me, like, you're right. Everyone should feel this.
That was 6-something years ago?
About 6. Right, it was right when I was in the middle of it all. It was, there's just a period of time where you get your treatment and then you're waiting to see if it worked. And it was right in the middle of that time. Wow, and it's terrorizing. And for anybody who's dealing with that now or who has dealt with that, they understand what I'm talking about. It's no other word but terrorizing. And I was like, I have to deal with it. I have to deal with this.
Yeah. And you did. Thank God. I mean, honestly, thank God for your mentor. Thank God for you going through that process and even having the 6 years of evolution that has, brought this to life. I mean, great things don't happen real quick a lot of times, like it really takes just the gut-wrenching aspects of all this stuff to get it to where we are now. And I mean, this beautiful brochure and all the stuff that goes into it, I mean, it's definitely something to celebrate, man. Like
I appreciate your encouragement.
I'm super fired up about this.
Listen, this has been years, and when I say passion project, it's been a passion project.
Yeah, people use that term lightly too these days too. Yeah. And this is what a passion project is. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, man. Like I'm so pumped for y'all, you in particular, and obviously everybody over at Boro Business Labs has been so great to spread the positive over these years. And these types of things are just those little stepping stones to getting to where we're doing some big things. And I've always believed it, and know this is one of those moments that we'll look back on and be like, you remember when we talked about last word letters and just that one little code, and then that led to this, and then that led to that, and then all the stuff that both of us are ultimately trying to do. It's so similar. It's a matter of time. I say it a lot, but time just hadn't caught up. And beyond the impact and just making great content and telling great stories and bringing community together is something that y'all are super passionate about too. And I don't know, man. This one just feels super special. So
thank you. And
done this a lot, bro. And this one really feels special.
I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And you know how I feel about you. Mm-hmm. I can say it publicly because I said it privately to you just a few weeks ago.
Hey, right.
But I'm a huge fan of you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that.
I would say to both of us, being in the middle of the journey is just as rewarding as whatever might come from the end of it.
Amen to that, brother. Amen. Well, last time, guys, go out there, lastwordletters.com. Right. Free code, STP, capital letters.
20% off code.
20% off. That's huge.
You said free code. I was like, hold on. They're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, it's not free, but definitely use that code and support what we're doing. Support Jeremy and the team over at Boro Business Labs. And just pumped for you, man. Can't wait to see you on like Oprah and Good Morning America and all the things, man. So thank you for everything.
Thanks for having me, Trent.
We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.